Hey everyone, Big Mac here. How's it going? I figured, as I mentioned a couple of videos ago, I am partaking in a National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, as it's also called. I thought I would just share the first part of what I've written so far. Again, I'm barely 3 days into this thing. I'm slightly ahead of schedule right now. I'm at 6,000 words total. By default, you should be at 5,000 words at this point, but I know that I need to stay ahead of schedule because I'm gonna lose time around Thanksgiving and the holiday and stuff. So I just figured I would go ahead and read what I have so far. Proof that you don't have to be a very good author. Another thing is I have not edited this thing for typos and other stuff. There is some language. I don't remember how far in the language is. So just be advised that there is some adult language in this video as well, possibly. I don't know. I'll just figure I'll read about maybe 10 minutes worth, however far I get at that point. See if I can even remember what I wrote. I don't know. There's always so much mystery about a dead body. There are the typical questions, the W's you learn in school, but even then, the answers aren't always satisfactory. I got the call when I was using my desk as an ottoman. That's how most mornings go by around here. There was an anonymous call for us to investigate the patch of Joshua trees by Highway 83. The kids were known to make pranks like that, so while we were chasing geese, they could run amok with no one watching. Didn't sound like a kid, Deputy Brooks said. It was a man with a deep voice. Maybe it was one of their parents, I replied. Want to come with me and check it out? Holly was the new member of our department for the year. She had worked with the tribal police back on the reservation. I'm still not sure why she decided to transfer, but we had an opening and she seemed like a solid fit. We hopped in the patrol car and headed out on Highway 83. The sun was already climbing high, and the only clouds in sight were the smog over Phoenix. God, I hate that place. It still boggles me how many people want to call that place home when they could be somewhere where they could breathe. But what do I know? I'm sheltered, I suppose. Benson? Deputy Brooks asked. I need to ask you something. Shoot. What if there really is something out there? Then we deal with it appropriately. Admittedly, not much happens out here either, but we always need to take that chance, I said as I made sure my gun was at my side. Neither of us knew our tree biology, but as we drove up to the patch of Joshua trees, something looked amiss. Is it just me, or are the trees pointing more up than usual? I asked. Benson, I don't think it's anything special. They grow outward to maximize carbon dioxide intake, I think. Our arteries do the same thing. Forget I asked. Let's go. We pulled over and advised HQ of our position. Hard to say if anybody was manning the communications board, but at least I can say I advised them of our location. The morning air was already feeling the onslaught of the summer sun. No doubt it would hit 90 degrees soon, but what else would be expected? Monsoon's not coming for a couple more weeks. As Brooks and I walked around the Joshua trees, the sunlight kept popping out from behind the branches. Man, these things have always weirded me out. It would make a good title of a music album. After seeing nothing obvious, I was about ready to head back to the car. Should we speak up? Maybe somebody is around and needs help, Brooks suggested. It was worth a shot. Hello! Anyone out there? I am Sheriff Yamato Benson of the Gila County Department. Does anyone need help? Nothing. Just then there looked to be a felled tree that we hadn't noticed before. These things fall over all the time, and this was not one of the ones you could see from the highway. As we walked closer, I saw what looked like a shoe. I grabbed hold of my gun just in case. Perhaps it was just a drunk from Phoenix. Holly let out a quiet shriek. There was a woman, lying on the ground. Blonde hair, 30 at most. There were obvious stab wounds across her face. Her clothes were bloody and shredded. Her pants were down. I frantically searched for my walkie-talkie, only to not find it. HQ, we have a dead body out here. Requesting backup, Holly said as she used her walkie-talkie. Wait, really? Said the voice on the other side. I could tell it was Will Cox. 10-4, Brooks. You and Benson okay out there? We're fine, she said, shaken but professional. Victim appears to have been stabbed and molested. Do you recognize the victim at all? She handed the receiver to me. Holly had been there just a couple weeks. She doesn't know everyone yet. Benson here, that's a negative. Okay, I'll send backup. Can you estimate time of death? He looked back at the woman as lifeless as she was when we first set eyes on her. I kneeled down to touch her arm. It had been hacked pretty good, probably from her trying to defend herself. There weren't any bugs or vultures around. If I had to guess, I'd say sometime last night, I told Cox. Holly took back the walkie-talkie. Hi, Will. I had just gotten a tip a short while ago. It was anonymous. The tape should still have it on record. Okay, you two hang tight. Watch your backs. If this is a murder investigation, then we have a murderer somewhere. The bastard is probably already at Nogales. I thought. Run to the border. We don't have any person of interest yet. He could be long gone by now. As for this girl, I didn't want to do anything else until we could transport her to the morgue. Damn, this doesn't make sense out here. This is the type of thing that goes down in Phoenix, I said. Benson, it's 1981. Times are changing. People are desperate. I started to head back to the car. Holly followed after. We decided to just sit in the car and think about what this was going to go. We might have news cameras from Phoenix. They'll pick it up, put some kind of newsy twist on it to grab more ratings, start making their own kind of investigation that could get in the way of our own. We don't even have some of the basic questions answered. Who is she? I don't recognize her. Was she molested here and then stabbed to death? I hopped back out of the car. Where are you going? Holly asked. We need to look for tracks. If somebody had driven out here last night, there should be some tread marks out here. I'll check east, she said. Don't wander off too far. I started analyzing every square inch of dirt I came across, looking for some kind of imprint, even a shoe or something, and yet all I could see was the untouched desert ground. It seemed almost pristine, like someone had craftfully placed every grain and rock so that it looked like nothing had happened. All the while, not a single car had gone by. In a way, I'm glad this place doesn't get the traffic. This used to be the old way to get to Las Vegas, but the interstates make it smoother to go through Flagstaff. Plus, they have the novelty Indian shops on the interstate. We don't have those luxuries around here. Benson, come here, I heard Brooks say from a few hundred feet away. I decided to run up the road instead of the dirt to not tamper with any possible evidence I missed. As I approached W.D. Brooks, she turned around, a small wallet in her hand. Is it the victim's? I don't know yet. I just found it out here. It's quite a distance away from the body, though. Maybe she left it like a breadcrumb to find her way out? I don't know, she said, as she opened the thin wallet. She started rifling through all the flaps. It was empty. We don't even know if this was her wallet, then I said. I then noticed something etched on the outer corner. I grabbed it from Brooks to examine it closer. In the tiniest writing were the initials B.G., eloquently etched into the wallet. It seemed to be made of leather, not something someone would likely just throw away. Suddenly, a voice came across Holly's communicator. Benson, Brooks, are you there? Here, she replied back. We found a wallet, possibly belonging to the victim. Is backup on its way? Affirmative. We also just got a dispatch from Phoenix. Senator Goldwater's daughter, Barbara, has been reported missing. They sent that an APB before this gets on the news. Shit. I grabbed the walkie-talkie. Cox, Benson here. I don't want to get too presumptive, but I have a feeling we may have just found Barbara Goldwater.